What if I told you that one of the most secure prison camps ever built, designed by engineers, guarded by machine guns, and monitored underground, was defeated not by weapons, but by wood stolen from beds, sand hidden in trousers, and men who refused to wait for history to decide their fate? On one freezing night in March 1944, 76 prisoners crawled through a tunnel that was never supposed to exist. Only 3 would see freedom again. 50 would be murdered for trying. This is the true story of Stalag Luft III and the escape that humiliated Nazi Germany. 145 kilometers southeast of Berlin, deep in the pine forests of Lower Silesia, stood a place built with one purpose: containment. Stalag Luft III, constructed between 1942 and 1944. It was among the largest prisoner of war camps in Europe. At its peak, it held more than 10,000 Allied airmen, officers, pilots, navigators, bombardiers, men shot down over Axis-controlled territory and removed from the war in the sky. This was not a concentration camp, it was something more calculated. Stalag Luft III was engineered to be escape-proof, and for a time, it was. Unlike camps run by the SS, Stalag Luft III was operated by the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force. That distinction mattered. The men guarding the camp were pilots. The men imprisoned inside it were pilots. Between captor and captive existed an unspoken professional respect, one that softened conditions but never erased captivity. The northern compound, where our story unfolds, housed RAF officers and other Allied air crew. Their rank granted privileges rare in wartime imprisonment: a well-stocked library, a makeshift theater for films and live performances, sports fields, even a swimming pool during summer. By the standards of war, life here was tolerable. But tolerable is not freedom, and freedom for these men was everything. The prisoners did not know how long the war would last. They did not know if their countries would survive. They did not know if they would ever fly again. To accept imprisonment was to surrender agency, to exist in limbo, where time moved but life did not. Escape gave purpose. Escape was defiance. Escape was war. Every escape attempt forced Germany to divert guards, soldiers, trains, fuel, paperwork, resources not used on the front lines. Even failure mattered. The Germans understood this, so they built a prison meant to kill hope. Stalag Luft III's perimeter was a masterpiece of paranoia. 2 parallel fences topped with barbed wire, additional coils between them, 30 meters of open ground, completely exposed, guard towers with overlapping machine gun fire, searchlights sweeping the night. Inside the compound ran a warning wire. Cross it, and guards had standing orders: shoot without warning. Underground, seismic microphones listened for vibrations. The soil was deliberately sandy, unstable, prone to collapse. Every building was raised on stilts so guards could see beneath them. And then there were the ferrets, specialist investigators whose only job was to detect escape plots. They searched huts without warning, listened to conversations, watched behavior. Under the command of Colonel Friedrich von Lindeiner, not a single successful escape had occurred from the northern compound, until the prisoners decided to change that. In April 1943, the escape committee made a radical decision. They would not dig 1 tunnel, they would dig 3. If the Germans found one, they might believe they had stopped the attempt. If they found 2, they would never suspect a third. The tunnels were named Tom, Dick, and Harry. What followed was not an escape attempt. It was an underground industrial operation. More than 600 prisoners participated. Diggers, engineers, lookouts, forgers, tailors, scroungers who stole, traded, or bribed. Every man had a role. Every role mattered. Discovery meant execution. Harry, the tunnel that would be used, began beneath Hut 104. Its entrance was hidden under a heavy metal stove mounted on a wooden trap door. A rope and pulley system lifted the stove silently, revealing a vertical shaft descending into darkness. The tunnel stretched 111 meters long, 7 meters underground, below the seismic sensors. But at that depth, the sand threatened collapse. So the prisoners stole the camp itself. Bedboards vanished, chairs broke, tables collapsed. Under the Geneva Conventions, the Germans had to replace them. Colonel von Lindeiner noted something odd. Material usage in the compound was 5 times higher than normal. He did not know his prisoners were dismantling their own prison to build a railway underground. Harry was too long to crawl efficiently, so they built a rail system, wooden tracks, a tiny cart just large enough for a man lying flat. Lighting came from stolen electricity, wires tapped from the camp's grid. Ventilation was pumped through kit bags stitched together, powered by hand-operated bellows. Without it, men would suffocate. And then there was the sand. Bright yellow underground, gray on the surface. A single pile would expose everything. So they invented the penguins, men with bags sewn into their trousers, releasing sand through hidden pins as they walked casually around the compound, kicking it into the soil. Over months, 130 tons of sand vanished in plain sight. By March 1944, Harry was ready. 200 men were selected. Sunset, 9 p.m. Sunrise, 5:30 a.m. 8.5 hours of darkness. At 8:45 p.m., the first men descended into the tunnel. They lay flat on the carts, spaced along the passage, pulling each other forward. The tunnel was 60 centimeters square. No room to turn. Air thick with sweat, earth, fear. At 9:30, the lead man reached the exit. The boards were swollen, jammed. He worked in darkness. 45 minutes passed. Finally, the exit opened and revealed disaster. The tunnel emerged short, not in the trees, but in open ground. They could stop or they could go on. They went on. A rope was tied from the exit to the tree line. A lookout watched patrols from a hidden nest. 2 tugs meant clear. At 10:30, the first man emerged, then the second, then the third. For 6 hours, men crawled from the earth and vanished into the forest. By 4 a.m., 73 men were free. Then at 4:55 a.m., the 77th man emerged directly in front of a German guard. A whistle, a shot. The escape was over. 76 men had escaped. What followed was one of the largest manhunts in German history. Up to 70,000 troops and Gestapo agents mobilized. Railways locked down, borders sealed, roads flooded with checkpoints. Most escapees were recaptured within days. Only 3 reached freedom. Then the prisoners began to disappear. No transfers, no records. Then the urns arrived. 50 of them, each with ashes, each with the same lie. Shot while attempting to escape. The truth emerged after the war. They had been executed, shot in the back of the head on lonely roads, on Hitler's orders. This was murder, and at Nuremberg, it was judged as such. The Great Escape was not the largest, it was not the most successful, but it was the most defiant. A prison designed to crush hope failed. Because hope digs, hope plans, hope tunnels through fear, and even when punished with death, it refuses to stay buried.